All right, what's up, guys? So, Seattle Traffic Cams has uploaded a video titled Crashes Caught on Seattle Traffic Cams, number 14. Yeah, bro, here's the thing about, like, I guess being a driver in Seattle. You have to have like a 360, you have to be your own 360 view. Cause, yeah, it's like at times, and just even just catching the clip of this video, it's like, yeah, bro, it's at times people don't know how to drive out here. But I feel like that when you get any major city, there's probably people that say the same thing about New York. I know that well, I think with California, it's like they say that traffic out there, it's like it could get like hectic. Like, it's like it's a standstill and stuff. Texas, I heard they got some wild drivers out there and stuff. But nah, man, Seattle, like so here's the thing. When I used to work in Seattle, I don't know, it was probably once a month where I almost got hit by a car. Like, no, there was at times where, so, all right, so like if you're, so like, let's say you're just walking into work, right? You're walking into work, the light's red. For the cars, the light is red. So overall, it's like, okay, I know a car should not be moving when the light is red. There have been times where I have been getting ready to just cross, like if I was like getting off or going to work or getting off of work, cars have nearly hit me, bro. Like that's one thing that I was hoping for, where I was like a car just going the right enough speed to where it wouldn't do no damage, but at least I could flop across the car and let that person know. I'm like, yeah, I'm like now, like put them in the situation where they're scared. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's something that I learned from what was that guy, Saints Row. I'm like, but it's yeah, that insurance fraud thing, and I'm like, I ain't trying to go out like that, But nah, man, it's like there's people out there where they are gonna go out like that. And yeah, they're gonna put you in a situation where yeah, you gonna hit somebody. So yeah, that's why I'm like, people in Seattle, I'm like in any major city where it's like you guys, I guess like it's bad drivers out there. Don't be a bad driver. Don't be that person where it's like you almost hit somebody or hit, whether it's they walking or in a car and stuff. Like take your time, relax. It's one of those things. If you're all like, oh, I'm late to work, fam, you're already late. You might as well even be even more late. If you show up late all the time, then you gotta wake up early. So, but anyways, now let's go ahead and get to this video. Make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Seattle Traffic Cams for more videos like this. Let's see my
Bumpity bump down
hometown
the road came little
in its
white truck with
glory.
good friend Tow. Oh gosh,
Dang.
oh, he's just hitting all of those vehicles, and he's still going.
And he
Oh
gonna get
boy.
fired from his job.
Seattle driving tends to be less like a storybook and more like a Stephen King novel. We've got more
That's
monstrous
true.
drivers to come, starting with this pair racing down MLK in South Seattle. Watch
Oh
the
yeah,
top
that's
left corner of your screen, where Tweedledee and Tweedledumbass come tearing down a surface street at highway speeds.
that's always
The
that's
driver
crazy.
demolishes another vehicle, flipping
That's
it over,
crazy.
sending sparks flying, and leaving a wheel behind in the crosswalk.
But like that's one thing about out here, and it's just it doesn't matter what area of Washington. Like, fam, you can be outside of Seattle, you could be in Seattle, you could be like all the way across the state and stuff, like at the borderline of either Canada or freaking Oregon. You're always going to see somebody racing. Like, I don't know why, but it's like it'll be during the day. It's mainly at night, like out here in Seattle and just in the Washington area and stuff, or just like in the Seattle area. But no, you're constantly hearing like cars racing up and down the freeway and stuff, or just even in like local streets. Like there was this one house where the guy, he how his house was positioned, he had this fence. And every time, like people, I guess, like if they were like hitting the turn, I don't know whether they were trying to drift or just hit the turn, never could hit the turn, always would mess this guy's fence up. Like it seemed like every year he had to replace his fence. Like I was trying to think, like, okay, what's like a realistic? Because it seemed like it was every other day at one point. But no, if I could like realistically, yeah, it was like every year this man was having to whoever it was that lived in that house. But yeah, they had to replace their fence.
High
I'm like,
speeds are to
dang,
blame for the
bro.
next few crashes, too. This driver is going to properly proceed through the intersection before changing lanes to pull into a parking lot. But the driver of a red SUV is going to come blasting down the bus lane. He smashes right into that
And
turning
it's like, what are you
vehicle,
driving so
going
fast
way too
for?
fast. Not a bus. Almost certainly a disappointment to their parents.
It's like driving
Further
fast
north
for
on
no
Aurora, yet
reason.
another driver speeding down the bus lane is going to cause a crash. Watch the top right corner of your screen. The driver clips the rear of a stopped
That's
vehicle
crazy.
and barely avoids smashing into the other vehicles waiting at the light.
It
Just
is, and there's always that like that embarrassment of where you have to like get out of your car, explain, and the people are giving you a look like broad daylight outside, so it ain't like, my vision was altered, or like, unless you need glasses, then I'm like, fam, then either put on glasses or don't drive. But yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like even if you don't have, I don't know, like, I'm just going based off of my vision, but I feel like that I would be able to see the shape of a car in front of me if I ain't had my glasses on. But everybody's vision is different. You got some people out there where they just flat out blind. I feel like if your vision is any worse than mine, you shouldn't be driving. Like, my vision is already bad, and I mean, like, it's just on a like level where like, so like, I will be able to watch this video without my glasses. It's just like it's slightly blurry, but like then it's a little bit more clear and stuff. But I feel like if it's anything worse than mine, it's like, or 10 times, if it's 10 times worse, you definitely should not be driving. So
complete failure of a driver. Of course, it's not just high speeds that lead to crashes. Drivers just not paying attention are to blame for a lot of collisions, including many red light crashes. First up, MLK and Yesler, where the driver coming towards the camera seems to have a red light. I hope that
that's
text was
like,
worth it.
man, it did that,
Fifth
and
and
it's stuff
Madison.
like that too, where I'm like, people, I don't get, and I think that's what it is too, where they're all like, oh, I text and drive all the time. I should be okay. And there's gonna be that one time where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I should be okay. Like, or no, you're not even thinking about it. You're not even thinking about like, oh, I'll be okay. Like, I can text and drive and all that stuff. That one time when you don't think about it, that's when you end up crashing into
In
somebody.
downtown, this is a
I was about
very
to say, I was
common
like, yeah,
spot
this
for red
area
light
looked familiar.
crashes. I'm not
I feel
totally
like I
sure why,
recognize
but we
this
seem to
building.
see several in every video. If anybody can shed any light, let me know.
Yeah, you
Still
could tell they
downtown at 5th and
crashed.
Spring. Not sure if the driver of this white SUV going uphill is looking at the wrong traffic light or if they're just brain dead, but they roll right through a red light and they get hit
That's
hard.
crazy.
This one was captured on a second traffic camera as well.
Man, people, and it's like, I don't
Watch the
get why. It's like, you would think that would be the one thing that you would do, is look up, see that there's a red light, and it's like, oh, okay, well, let me go and slow down and come to a complete stop, let the cars go until my light turns green, and then yeah, so at least then it's like, okay, if the light's green for you and somebody hits you, then yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, you ain't gonna get in trouble. But yeah, it's somewhere, it's like, you're, well, yeah, they just not paying attention, so I can't say that, oh, they know that the light is red and stuff. It's things like that where I'm like, fam, yeah, just don't, please get, like, I don't know. Is there a way, I guess, like, you just be all like, hey, I don't want to drive no more. Take this back. Like, you go to the DMV or something. But
intersection at the top of your screen for a driver who blows a red light and causes a crash. I hope they
crazy.
drop their phone in a public toilet.
Yeah, I'm like,
And not
people.
to be outdone, this driver just a few blocks away runs their red light and hits two different vehicles.
This look like, ain't this the same
Not
area?
sure where they learned to drive. Now, speaking of learning to drive, one of the vehicles they hit was from Discount Driving School. Talk about a traumatizing lesson. I remember when I was learning to drive, I got stuck on a hill with wet leaves under the tires and burned some
Dang.
rubber trying to get going again. That was stressful enough. I don't know what I would have done if I got in a crash during a lesson. Thankfully,
I
no
mean,
serious
but
physical.
I don't know. Like, if somebody that's just starting off, like, yeah, I don't think I would. I probably would be mad that my car is messed up. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, like, you just started driving. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like too forgiving and things. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I would be like frustrated, like, dang, bro. But I mean, like, if, yeah, usually them schools, they were like, yeah, some stuff like that were to happen. They were like, hey, whatever the damage they pay. But if they're all like, oh, no, we ain't going, I'm like, no, you're going to pay. Cause I'm like, my thing is this, I ain't gonna blame the driver. Cause I'm like, they just started. You, on the other hand, you being the teacher, what did you tell them? Hey, this car right here, hit it. Like, fam, no. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you're going to pay. Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, my anger ain't with the beginner. I'm like, it's with the expert, trying to teach the beginner. It's like that, it's stuff like that that just, they don't even make no sense to me. It's like, how are you gonna be teaching somebody, you teaching them to crash? Like, nah, bro. I'm like, yeah, don't give them, well, I'm like, yeah, have it where they go down. It's one of those things. I probably would have disrespected that company. I'm like, yeah, don't go to no discount. Go to a regular driving school.
Injuries here, and hopefully that student will avoid driving distracted now that they've seen what the outcome can be. And now, a calming interlude. It's evening in Broadview. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the small silver SUVs are crashing into parked cars and sliding down the road on their
Dang.
sides like spawning salmon.
That's crazy.
And now, something special, as we
Man.
get to witness the miracle of birth. A Seattle driver emerges from their vehicle for the first time, eyes blinking, taking those tentative first steps into the bright new world.
I hope he
Much
don't
like a
be trying to
salmon,
like
this
leave
driver
the
lacks the
scene.
ability to think. He's operating purely on instinct,
Got
seeking
maybe
safety.
put that
and
hat
more
on.
back.
It's like, yeah, forget a parked car, but I gotta make sure my hat stays on.
It takes a few tries, but he's able to free himself from the shell of his SUV.
He
He
ain't
tries
going.
to push it back onto the tires, but it's
Okay.
no use.
Is he gonna
This driver
leave?
has no choice but to gather up a few more supplies. This video is sponsored by Ladybug brand, always organic from farms big and small.
He's really
Anyway,
leaving.
as I was saying, this driver has no choice but to gather up his few belongings and walk off into the sunset to start a new life, which he'll
Wow.
almost certainly screw up as badly as he screwed up his current one.
Wow. Don't even try to call like I don't
Okay,
know, like I guess like because it ain't really an emergency since like okay you're okay I guess like hey yeah it's like my car like who would you call because I feel like that might be a waste of a 911 call where it's like there's some actual real life like emergencies going on so I like a non-emergency line like hey is there like a I think I would look it up I'm like bound yeah to leave because it's like I feel like that's yeah it's like you're leaving a crime scene in a way so yeah because it's like you done damage them people's car I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, it's okay, you could just go and stuff. Yeah, you just damage my car and just leaving things, don't give out no information or nothing. I'm pretty well. He's probably thinking along the lines, oh well, they'll track down my license plate and just find me like that. Yeah, that's that type of they're gonna be finding you to arrest you. It's people. I'm telling you, it's like the thing is this. I might not know everything I need to know about laws and crimes and all that. One thing I know for sure though is that if you even if it's like well, no, if it's like a small tap and there ain't no damage, I think something like that I would leave because I'm like, yeah, especially if it's a parked car, small tap, no damage. I'm like, okay, no damage on my end, no damage on their end. I don't know, maybe put like a couple of band-aids on it or something. But no, but it's like I'm pretty sure the way his car had flipped on its side, he did some damage to that car. So it's like, yeah, things like that, you can't, nah, bro, you can't leave. But
let's
anyways,
talk about turns. Turning left through stopped traffic is one of the worst mistakes that otherwise good drivers tend to make. It's just not worth it. Circle the block, take a back road, turn at a traffic light. Just don't do this.
people don't be paying attention to that type of stuff. It's like that's something that be like and that's one thing where it's like I guess like for me, I ease in. I'm like I get the look at it stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm like, I don't see nobody. All right, cool. But yeah, people they're just all like, oh, there ain't no cars coming. And then they just go. And I'm like, yeah, and that's how you end up getting into a car
Of course,
accident.
that car speeding down the bus lane likely also partially to blame for this crash, although it is possible that they were preparing to turn right. Now, here's one on Aurora Avenue, similar situation, but now this driver is trying to cross 3 lanes of traffic. And once again, a
It's
bus lane
like, bro,
bandit
you gotta
bashes
wait,
them.
man.
That was a pretty hard hit, and so is this next one.
That's crazy.
Watch the
Well, hold
and
on
a
for a
bus
second.
lane
Yeah, they
bandit.
had the O'Reilly's auto parts, so they good. They just go in there. I'm like, well, yeah, the one that caused that. I'm like, hey, yeah, I if I'm that guy, I'm like, yeah, I got you. Just get whatever you need to get and stuff.
Bashes them.
Get you an air freshener, all that. I'm like, yeah, get what you gotta get. I got you. So that's
That was a
crazy. Yeah,
pretty
of all
hard hit,
places to crash
and
at.
so is this next one. Watch the white car in the middle of your screen. This driver unfortunately does not see a fast-moving pickup truck until it's too late.
Dang.
They get spun all the way around. There was a child in the white car, but thankfully everyone seemed to be okay, at least physically. Now, left turns always tricky for Seattle drivers. Here's a group of drivers that seem to be sharing one brain cell among them, and the last driver in line isn't using it when he turns directly in front
It's
of
like,
oncoming
bro,
traffic.
and that's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, fam, you seen that car. I don't know why people be thinking they can make it at the last second. I'm like, fam, if that car, my thing is this. Maybe if the car is like back here, then it's like, okay, you might be able to make that turn. That's like if they're just now hitting that line and you're already in the turn, then yeah, you just hurry up and go and stuff. when they're in this area, this is I feel like you gotta do like one of them like football plays and stuff. I wish I had like a arrow, one of them like arrow things that they be doing. But anyways, but yeah, when the car is like when it's in this region, you fam, no, it's all that's car accident zone. I'm like, yeah, then right here, I'm like, it's like you got the green light to do whatever it is you want to do, a backflip in the car, whatever. If the car is back there, but yeah, if it's in that car accident zone, you got to still be here. Just wait, bro. Like I said, if you're all like, oh, well, I'm late to work, be late. I'm like, it's one of those things. And the thing is this, let's say it's your first time being late. Fam, they're not going to trip about it unless the boss is on some stuff where they're like, hey, if you late one time, you're fired. Then it's like, okay, at that, you need to have it where your alarm clock goes off like 2 hours before you need to clock in and stuff, so you can do whatever you need to do. But yeah, overall, I'm like, fam, it's one of those. But I just I don't know. I don't think I ain't never. At least for me, I'm like, I know at my old job, all the different bosses that worked there, they was never like that. And this for me, I always had showed up early, so that when the one time when I would show up late, they'd be cracking jokes and be like, hey, it's like you show up early every other day, but if you show up late one more time, you're fired. And you could tell that they're joking around and stuff. But yeah, it's like but it's just things like that though, where it's like if you don't show up late all the time, then fam, you don't, the thing is this, you can be in there like, or I guess on your way to work driving, or even I guess like if, because I know might be some people that walk to work and stuff or catch the bus. You could be walking like a snail, bro. If it's your first time, you ain't got nothing to trip about. Everybody else got going about their day.
Not sure if the driver of this white SUV coming towards us is impaired, asleep, or on the phone, but they're going to go left of center and hit two other vehicles. Thankfully, speeds were slow.
Oh yeah, they had to have been
asleep. No
asleep.
business being behind the wheel of an automobile.
Either that or you're just that. If you're that distracted by whatever, you do not need to be behind the wheel of a car.
Neither does the dim-witted driver of this dark van coming towards us. Wait for it. There it is.
Dang.
They just come through a school zone, so I'm very glad that this pole wasn't a child on the sidewalk. In a proper country, they'd be banned from driving, but here they'll likely get away with a ticket, if that.
Yeah.
Now watch this doofus in the left turn lane. He will not be turning left tonight. What he will do is drift across the intersection with his right turn signal on.
That's crazy.
And then collide head-on with the stopped vehicle waiting at the light.
That's insane. And it is so upsetting to the person where it's like, I'm just trying to, like, wherever it is that you trying to go there, but then you just got people where it's like, yeah, it's either they've been on the road too long or they got distracted. Either way, meaning like if being on the road too long, now they went to sleep behind the wheel. But either way, I'm like, fam, pull over. Like, hey, the thing is this, wherever you need to go, if you're going, like, let's say if you're traveling by car and you going somewhere and you're all like, dang, pull over to the side of the road, rest your eyes for however long you need to rest them, and then just go on about the trip. But yeah, then if you getting distracted, then yeah, like I said, you don't need to be behind the wheel of a car. It's like you shouldn't be getting that distracted to where you crashing in the cars. And it's like, fam, you would think you would see lights, you would hear car horns, something. But anyways,
who is almost certainly intoxicated stayed on scene for a few minutes before getting back into his car and then fleeing north towards, you guessed it, the lawless wasteland of Shoreline.
Wow. That's crazy.
Even the camera is shaking its head at this guy's audacity.
That's crazy.
Same spot a few days earlier. This driver stops to let a pedestrian cross before turning right, but their good deed backfires when they get rear-ended and knocked into the pedestrian.
Man.
Thankfully, she seems okay, but the at-fault driver keeps on going, and the driver who was hit, after briefly talking to the pedestrian, decides to give chase.
Yeah, no, you have to. I'm like, I thought she was getting ready to flop and all that because the way her body just kind of like rolled all across the car. I'm like, ma'am, stop it. This is not no Hollywood production. I'm like, if anything, you'll be like bagging up, just be all like, prevent yourself from like getting hit and things. But it's kind of like she did like a roll across the car. But no, yeah, the guy though, I'm like, that got out the car that got hit, the victim. I'm like, yeah, he definitely got to chase that person down. I'm like, you didn't hit my car and then try to drive off. She's standing there. She's like, wait, what just happened?
Cameras now. Here is the causing driver. They don't really seem to be fleeing, but they're not pulling over either. The driver that was hit speeds up and the at-fault driver seems to gesture
Yeah.
towards a parking lot, but the victim driver decides they're going to stop here. Not ideal, but also understandable, and in the end, it seems like they were able to exchange information.
So you just
We've got a few
and
more.
and I guarantee and I promise you it's like because there's all them different areas you could have pulled over. You could just still been in there on the side of the road. You didn't need to drive off. But no, it's like I think if that person hadn't have chased after them, because yeah, they're all like, oh yeah, let's go over to the parking lot and stuff. But yeah, if they hadn't been chasing after them, they would have went on home.
Rear end crashes to share. These are almost always preventable just by watching what's happening on the road.
With that last person, that probably would they went home. Wife would have been like, "What happened to the car?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I hit a deer." And they're like, "In Seattle, you hit a deer." I'm like, "Look, fam, for as long as I have been a Seattle resident, onlooker, going to Seattle, just a Seattle native." Never seen a reindeer in Seattle or any form of a species of deer and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, you ain't hitting no deers. Like, yeah, you on the road like this, talking about, oh yeah, I hit a deer, and it's like in Seattle, they're like, yeah, okay, oh, like okay, you hit it. Then beyond some stuff, like, yeah, breaking news. I'm like a bunch of wild deers were seen in Seattle. I'm like, I'm sorry, I doubted you. I thought just thought that you didn't want to tell the truth, but no, yeah, I believe you. I believe you now.
Something the driver of this dark colored car doesn't seem to be doing is they don't even brake before smashing into that other vehicle.
That's crazy.
Watch here as the driver of an SUV causes a 3-vehicle collision.
Dang.
What a moron. Now keep an eye on this dark car at the top of your screen. This driver's not moving very fast, but they're just going to roll forward into the vehicle in front of them.
Man.
I assume that driver was on their phone, probably texting their ex, who actually stopped loving them years ago and is now living her best life without him. It's too late. She's blocked his number, and the kids don't even email anymore.
Dang.
It's my assumption anyway. I can't think of any other reason for this crash to have happened.
That's crazy. I'm like the backstory. I'm like, dang, bro. I'm like, that's just, I like on to now on top of all that stuff. Now you done got into a car accident. I'm like, bro, he is having the worst possible time right now.
I do know why this next crash happens. It's because drivers coming from the right side of the screen are only allowed to turn right. This driver ignores that and gets flipped over.
Dang.
That's what happens when you think the basic rules don't apply to you. 30 seconds later, and we're going to see another driver try the exact same thing.
No.
God, I hate these people.
It is not going to be
this
too...
dum-dum, oncoming traffic sees him in time, and the second collision is avoided. Really,
I was
though,
about to
these
say,
are the kinds of drivers who have to ask a ChatGPT
why are
the
they
difference
still?
between their
It's like,
asses and a
bro,
hole in the ground.
That's the stuff where I'm like, man, people they be so eager to go somewhere, and I'm like, fam, relax. I'm like, and the thing is this. I know people probably ask like, oh, there's never been a time when you ain't had to go somewhere. I'm like, if my thing is this, if it's an emergency, then I'm like, I'm gonna try that, because if I know that these roads is gonna be busy, then I'm like, okay, I gotta find like other roads where I know I could get there either faster or the same amount of time. But I mean, yeah, if this is the only road, if I know what this road is about, I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, if it's like, let's say if I'm driving to the hospital and it's like, oh, I'm going to, now it's like, if I'm driving somebody to the hospital and now I got to drive myself to the hospital, or have it where one of them ambulance trucks, they got to drive me to that's doing too much. So, but if it's on some stuff where it's like I don't know, the latest Jordans done came out, and I'm like, fam, it looks like I ain't gonna get a pair. But if what's my thing is this, what do you think is worse? Not being able to get a $200 pair of Jordans or having to pay $2,000 for car damages. It's stuff like that where it probably more. But
it'd be funny if they weren't driving 3,000-pound death machines with the ability to kill or maim all of us who have the misfortune of sharing the road with them. Heading now to the Ballard Bridge for another special boy who thinks he doesn't need to follow the rules of the road. Instead of spending maybe 5 minutes crossing the bridge and turning around,
no sense.
He's going to spend hours dealing with insurance and repairs, not to mention the financial cost and the very real fact that he could have hurt or killed someone.
Yeah.
Not sure what's worse, the entitlement or the stupidity. And while we're on the subject of things that piss me off, let's look at some rideshare drivers. Here we have multiple drivers using their park anywhere lights. The problem with only having your hazards on is that other drivers can't tell when you're about to abruptly pull back into traffic.
That's
Here's
crazy.
Another driver trying to pull into traffic and failing miserably.
It's like, bro, the car was still going. Like,
okay, Here's a weird one. Gray car in the bottom right corner is creeping up slowly, and the black car behind them has its hazards on and some damage to the right rear bumper. They both pull over.
Wow.
15-second damage in the bottom right corner is creeping up slowly, and the black car behind them has its hazards on and some damage to the right rear bumper. They both pull over. 15 seconds later, the driver of the black car gets out, and the driver of the gray car just rams them.
Wow.
Driver of the black car, very lucky that they weren't hit. They end up repositioning their car farther up, and then everyone just hangs out until police and fire arrive.
That's
Trying to
crazy.
get more details off the scanner, but there wasn't much there. Just another day in Seattle, I guess.
That is insane. I thought I missed the accident. I was like,
Okay,
whoa, wait a
just
minute, I
two
missed
more
it.
crashes left, but they're both doozies. Watch this car coming towards the camera.
Yeah,
This
you already
driver
know
is
it's this
coming
car.
extremely fast. She makes a hard right turn. Thankfully, no pedestrians trying to cross the crosswalk there. But that high-speed driver hits something. It's not clear what. My guess is that there's another car hidden behind that tree. Anyway, she gathers some things, yanks her dog out of the back seat, and wanders off.
Wow. That's crazy.
She came back briefly for another load of things from the car, but then she jogs off into the sunset.
That's crazy.
She's a little unsteady. It's unclear if she's intoxicated or just doesn't have enough brain cells to walk and breathe at the same time.
That is insane.
Speeding in a car that tends to burst into
right
flames
there
when
in
it
front
crashes.
of firefighters.
It didn't stop the driver of this Tesla. Watch the top of your screen where we can see the headlights bouncing as the driver loses control and smashes into the median. That car continues around the corner and slides to a stop,
Dang.
already on fire. Here's the view from another camera.
That is
Amazingly,
crazy.
not only do the driver and passengers survive this hard crash, they seem fairly excited about this turn of events.
Yeah, it looked like some kids.
At least one of them seems to be getting some pictures on his phone before they run off into the night, scattering like roaches.
That's insane. Wow. Yeah, they took that car. They 100%. That car is stolen. You can't tell me that.
Meanwhile, the presumably stolen Tesla continues to smolder before completely bursting into flames.
Wow.
Crispy Tesla.
That's crazy. Yeah, they 100% stole that car. You can't tell me otherwise.
The Seattle Fire Department, of course, arrived quickly on scene to knock that fire down. This is our last crash, but I'm uploading this video on Labor Day weekend, so I want to give a special shout out to all of my viewers who are union members. Unions, of course, responsible for things like our 8-hour workday, the fact that we get weekends off, child labor laws, workplace safety, and many other benefits that the folks currently in charge of our government are actively trying to strip away. Solidarity forever, power to the workers. Okay, I'll step off my soapbox and say thanks also to all of you. I really appreciate the views and comments. Remember, phone down, eyes up, drive safe, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's facts. That's 100% facts. And you know, the thing is this video got uploaded 2 months ago. I guarantee you, I promise you, there's been accidents that didn't happen, after the past 2 months. And it's like, bro, yeah, there's just people where it's like they're not, fit for driving and stuff. So, but anyways, no, this was a pretty good video, just showing love to my hometown and stuff. But anyways, in a weird way, but yeah, I feel like at time, you gotta check out videos from Seattle and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Seattle Traffic Cams for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.